So this is going to be a pretty short video. I kind of want to bring you guys a new idea and how it was born and where I see it going. Now, last week I had James Hannibal from Quirky QRP on the show for Lunch and Ham Radio. Generally, this is a pretty lighthearted, just hanging out, and we're talking about things that are ham radio and maybe some things that aren't so ham radio. But we actually got into what I would consider a fairly, I don't want to say serious conversation, but I would say it's a substantial conversation about the future of ham radio. And this was born from an outside article that was brought to my attention. And I'm not going to rehash it all here, but suffice it to say, we had a lot of audience interaction. It was a good show, and if you want to check that out, I'll link it somewhere up here. What happened after the show is I broke out all these little sections of what we talked about in the show, made them their own little videos, because number one, there's a whole lot of guys out there that can't spend an entire hour listening to a couple of guys drivel on about ham radio. And number two, your time is valuable. And I don't want to waste it if I don't have to. If I could get some good information from some of these shows out to you in a nice, short, concise video, I figured, you know what? That is a great idea. I posted K6UDA live bits here on YouTube. I also cross-posted it to the K6UDA Facebook page and a couple of other ham radio groups on Facebook, just trying to get the word out about this stuff. And what it did is it sparked a whole lot of conversation. And I think that conversation is really, really good. And there was a lot of great positive comments. There was a lot of comments that I would consider not so great. But you know what? The conversation is there, and that's what's important. The whole thing got me thinking. There was a lot of guys just saying, you know what? I'm just out there throwing fuel on the fire. And that's really not the intention. The intention of that whole thing was to bring to light that real serious issue of us as a ham radio community, as a hobby, losing a lot of our bandwidth, and what happens in the future if we don't keep the numbers up for ham radio, and more importantly, if we don't get more participation and getting people to utilize the bandwidth that we do have. What I kind of came up with was, yeah, you know what? That is such a good idea. It is, I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And so for the rest of this year, I am going to dedicate as much as I can to helping us as a community move forward, to utilize the bands as much as we can, and to keep our bandwidth to the ham radio community. Now, how the hell am I going to do that? Well, hear me out. I'm not a super smart guy. I don't invent things. I make stupid little videos in my basement. Yeah, I get it. But what I can do to help out is I can help highlight the smart guys that are bringing these things either to the market, or they just have an idea and they want to bring it to the market. Maybe. I would love to hear from you very, very smart guys that have fantastic ideas on utilizing more bandwidth, on doing more things with ham radio, more things that will get more people jazzed up about it. You've seen lately the explosion of things like DMR, Fusion, D-Star. They've become very, very popular with the new generation of hams that are coming into the rolls. Last week we saw the DMX 40, which is a CW machine, and that really got my attention, got my fire kind of stoked. And then this week, Craig KM6 LYW came on the show and showed us something that, I mean, you could make for $50, and you can do every digital mode out there for $50 with or without the internet, with or without an external screen or a computer or anything. And I just think that these kinds of inventions, these ideas, are worth bringing to you guys and to me, and for us to figure out, hey, you know what? Does this work? Is this something that will help the hobby? And like I said, I'm not a smart guy. I'm not the guy who's going to invent all this new stuff, and I don't want to take the credit. I want you guys to help me find those smart guys, those guys who are inventing things. Bring those guys to me. I could bring those guys to you in a cool and interesting and entertaining way. All right, I've got an example right here, right now. This is something I picked up today from C.W. Morris, $35, and he sends you a keyer. I'm giving CW another shot. I want to give it every opportunity that I can learn it. And I wanted to get a really cool looking straight key. 3D printed straight key on a little aluminum base here. Very, very simple to hook up. It's 2 wires. I mean, and it works. It works very, very well as far as I could see. This thing, again, today, got here. I just hooked it up. I'm just starting to play with it. 35 bucks from C.W. Morris. I would love to have C.W. Morris on the noontime show talking about all his keys. You don't have to have a Bengali. Although I would love to have a Bengali, I just can't afford it. I can't afford it right now, and I can't justify the cost of a $400 to $500 key when I can't even play. When I get to be like even a 10 to 15 word a minute guy, maybe I'll consider the Bengali. But like I was saying, there is a ton of little appliances, little tiny things that make ham radio very, very cool and make it fun and get more guys interested in utilizing the bandwidth. You know, not everything has to be groundbreaking. I mean, my trusty 705 here, this a year ago was the hot new ticket. It still is pretty much the hot new ticket. But what came along with the 705, you know, a friend of mine built this POV frame for the 705. He made it for me for a Christmas present. I brought it to you guys, and you know what? This POV frame here turned into an entire industry for this guy. He started making them as a business, and he's made a ton of these things for guys all over the place. So anyway, this is my idea. I want to highlight small businesses. I want to highlight guys with bright ideas that could help us. And I kind of want to make this the focus of the rest of 2021. And guys, if you agree with me, if you think that this is a good idea, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Do you think we can help ham radio? Do you think by highlighting new and interesting technology, cool new products and stuff, that we can get more people involved in ham radio and utilize the spectrum that we've got just a little bit better? I do. Anyway, guys, again, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please subscribe, like, share the video everywhere you can, because this is kind of, to me, an important video. This is one of those, you know what, we're going to do something about it. We're not just going to talk about it. Anyway, that's it for me. I know it's a short video. I'm Bob, K6UDA. I'm out of here. 7-3.